Hey y'all, it's your girl Barbie J here. Welcome to my channel, June BLC. Hey there everybody, it's your girl Barbie J here with the recap and review of Tyler Perry's comedy drama, Sisters, Season 8, Episode 12, Pull the Trigger. Now, who pulled the trigger? Because there sure was no gun involved. Was that the trigger with Danny and Tony? That's the only trigger I could think of. Or was it the trigger when Karen found out that Fatima was pregnant and she went into labor? That was a trigger too, wasn't it, y'all? That was the main trigger. That Karen didn't want to admit to the doctor or to Aaron. So before I jump right in with my recap and review, if you are new here or if you're returning here and have not subscribed to this channel as of yet, please take a moment right now and hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all, and that'll let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel. Then I ask that you smash that like button, which is the thumbs up button, write a comment, join our conversation, and share, because sharing is caring. And you all know that I'm trying to reach my goal of 7,000 subscribers by the end of this week. So help me out, y'all. Help me out for the new year. So this episode starts off with Andy in the parking garage with a man following her, and she hides behind a beam, and then she pulls out mace and maces him, and then knees him in the groin, and then punched him somewhere in his neck or somewhere. Fatima told him, you know what I mean? And come to find out, it's someone she knows named Bird from the company. And he tells him that Rob and Ultree wanted him to keep an eye on Andy. And so she wanted to know why. And he said when a managing partner gives him an assignment, he doesn't ask questions, he just does it. And Andy said, acting managing partner. So I'm getting confused, y'all, because first of all, I thought he was the owner. Didn't we all think that Robin was the owner of the company? Somebody help me down in the comment section because I am totally confused. But anyway, then Andy asks him why he's following her and how long he's been trailing her. And then Robin shows up and asks what's going on here. And Andy says, this man has been following me unbeknownst to me, and I want to know why. You owe me an explanation. And then Robin's letting the guy know that he was not supposed to let Andy see him following him. So he was a terrible security person. I can tell you that right now. So the guy, Bird, he wants to leave because he got the mace in his eyes. He wants to wash it out. He tells him to leave. So then Andy's like, y'all owe me an apology. And Robin is like, I'm your attorney and I wanted to make sure that you okay, that nobody stabbed you like they stabbed Gary or something like that. And so Andy is so upset with him that she fires Robin as her attorney after telling him he's just like Gary, trying to control her. And he's letting her know, I'm not trying to control you. But you know what? Andy's ridiculous. She's gave Gary so much grace. She allowed Gary to do so much stuff to her. Robin hasn't come close to nearly doing the stuff that Gary did to her, but she's going to go off on him. She always goes off on the wrong person, if you ask me. But y'all can put it down in the comment section what y'all think about that. So then Andy gets a call from Fatima that Karen has gone into labor. So she gets in her car and drives off, leaving Robin standing there. Now, y'all, something happened here, didn't it? I'm not alone here, because they hadn't even shown the scene with Karen going into labor, and they have Fatima calling Andy to say it. So they put these scenes in the wrong position, if you ask me. I mean, did anybody else notice that? Because it looked mad crazy, okay? Then we see Creisha. She's showing up to Danny's apartment to find her sitting on the floor holding her chest. And she tries to get Danny to first control her breathing and then to tell her what happened and to be specific in the details. And she explains about her thinking about her vices and wanting to just have a nice dinner at home. And she said everything just went left. So Creisha happened to be on a date close by in the area. So that's why she was able to get there so quickly. I think she said she got there in 15 minutes and she called 911 while she was on her way. So now over to Karen, Zach, and Fatima in the house talking, and Fatima's telling both of them about their actions. Then Karen said, I thought you were on my side. What happened? Fatima said, I'm on the side of the babies. And then Fatima and Karen get into a back and forth, almost a confrontation, because she tells Karen that this co-parenting ain't going to work if she keeps popping up anytime Zach pisses her off. And Karen felt she had a right to do it this time. But Fatima said, how would you like if somebody kept showing up at your house like that? And Karen admitted that she wouldn't like it at all. But as they was going back and forth, Zach said, hey, wait a minute. Y'all mad at me. I'm the problem. Don't worry about it. I'm the problem. Because he didn't want them two to get into it. And he says to them, this ain't good for neither one of y'all pregnancies. And Fatima looked at Zach, and Karen looked at Zach, and Zach said, oh, shoot, it slipped. It slipped. I'm sorry, it slipped. And she's like, Fatima, are you pregnant? And she said, yeah, but I was going to wait till I get a little further along before I said anything. But little Mr. Big Mouth over here has to slip and tell everything. And he's like, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I hate how they have Zach acting so stupid or silly right now. I'm not liking the way they're changing his character back to this ridiculousness, if that's a word. And now let's be honest, y'all. As soon as Karen found out that Fatima was pregnant, all of a sudden she gets those pains and she goes into labor. She goes into labor, y'all. It wasn't her arguing with Zach. They wasn't even arguing. She almost wanted to argue with Fatima. But it was when she found out she was pregnant. Tell me if I'm wrong or right in that down in the comment section, y'all. Now back to Danny's apartment where the paramedics are checking her pressure, which is slightly elevated. They tell Creisha that she's suffering from a panic disorder and not a cardiac distress or heart attack. But Danny is being so dramatic and she thinks she's dying. And they explain her symptoms to her and say that they could take her to the ER if they want, but she declines. So they leave and Creisha tells Danny she doesn't want to leave her alone. Is there one of her girlfriends she can call? So Danny tells her Sabrina. Now over at the hospital, Gary wakes up and Hayden acts as if he was making him comfortable in bed because he had the pillow in his hand and he puts it under his head and he tells Gary he's there to talk about Tamara. And Gary acts as if he doesn't know who Tamara is nor Hayden. Then Hudson walks in and asks Hayden, why is he there? And he says to check on my guy Gary. And he seems kind of foggy, he said. And Hudson said, yeah, he needs to be sedated. He needs his rest. And I need you to leave now. And so Hayden is asking, why are you rushing me out of here? I want to know what's going on with him. So he lets him know about his memory loss or something like that. So then Hayden sort of checks Hudson, you know, and then he leaves. He said something about Hudson being paranoid or something like that. Anyway, now we over to Zach and Fatima. They're at the hospital, and Zach is very nervous, saying it's too early for Karen to be in labor, you know, and he's pacing up and down and shaking and everything. And he sees a nurse that he recognizes from when he was in there before and asks her what's going on with Karen. And she says she'll check for them and then get back to them with any information. Then Fatima suggests that he calls Aaron and let him know what's going on. Zach didn't want to, but he did. So now back to Sabrina and Rich. They're at the basketball court discussing the phone call he just got about his sperm sample. And then she gets a call from Creisha about Danny's panic attack. Sabrina steps away from Rich while getting the details from Creisha. And Rich calls Tony to ask where he's at and what did he do because his girl just had a panic attack. And Tony says she's the one that's been tripping and stuff like that. And he tells him, you should head over there, you know. But honestly, y'all, I don't think Rich had the right to do that. This was Danny's personal business. And if she wanted Tony to come over there, she would have called Tony. I'm just saying, you know, y'all can let me know what y'all think about it. So now over at the hospital, we have Dr. Adderley checking Karen. He tells us she's experiencing what they call Braxton Hicks contractions, which is false labor. She's been dealing with a lot of stress, she tells him lately, and he tells her that she needs to relax more. She has the nerve to blame Zach for her stress, and the doctor tells her she needs to lower her stress some kind of way, maybe with meditation or yoga. So the doctor brings Karen out in a wheelchair, and Zach runs over to her like a idiot. I don't like how they have Zach acting like this nervous fool. Does anybody else see it? It's just driving me crazy. Anyway, back at Danny's apartment, we see Creature is still there straightening up, and Danny is asking her if she's going to bill her for both the therapy and the cleaning up, and she said the cleaning's on the house. But then they're chatting and waiting for Sabrina, and we learn that Creature is playing for the home team, meaning she's gay. Which is, Danny was like, sometimes I thought about going that route. But anyway, Sabrina knocks on the door and Creature lets her in. Now, any other time, y'all know Sabrina just uses her key and walk in, but she didn't this time. But I don't think Sabrina should have brought Rich with her to Danny's apartment without knowing clearly what the situation was or is. She could have had him wait in the car or something, or just wait downstairs and then call him up if it was okay. You know what I mean? But Danny, we see, is not happy either that he's there. And she says that he's the ops. And Sabrina's, with her clueless self, is saying, Rich is your friend too. He's not the ops. And Danny's like, yeah, but he's Tony's friend more. So Rich was saying he would leave, and Sabrina had the nerve to stop him, like to have him stay. But if this is Danny's apartment and she's feeling some kind of way with what she's going through, she don't want him to hear her business. You don't have your boyfriend stay there. You just don't. You know? She's sitting there feeling like Tony sent him there to spy on her. I know Danny is dramatic and overreacting sometimes, but it's her business and her medical condition, and she don't need other people to know about it. And Sabrina and her clueless self not to need to realize what she's doing and the things she's saying. She's always defending Rich, and I have no idea why. She defends him against all of her girls, even against Andy, who paid millions of dollars to get her out of jail. So now there's a knock at the door. Rich opens it, and Tony comes rushing in. What's the matter? What's going on? Pushing everybody out the way. And they're like, how did you know what's going on? Did Creature call you? No, Rich did. And Sabrina's totally surprised. And she's sitting there going, you were eavesdropping on my conversation? Well, I thought he had a right to know what his girl was going through. I said, see? And Danny's like, see, he's the ops. And she was so upset and she wanted Tony to leave. She was like, he has to leave. He gotta go now. And everybody's telling him to leave. Sabrina standing by Rich. You have to leave, Tony. You have to leave. I'm like, go over there. And then Rich has to tell Tony, yo, we got it. Sabrina got it. Let's go. Let's get out of here and stuff. And I think he left with him. But I'm like, really, Sabrina? Check yourself. So now back at the hospital, we have Zach, Fatima, Karen, and the doctor. And he thinks Zach is Karen's partner, and he lets him know that Karen and the twins are fine. So they correct him and let him know the proper way who goes along with who. And he said, oh, I apologize. So Zach says that, then why is she in a wheelchair? And he said, that's just standard procedure. But they got Zach acting like a real idiot, and I don't like it. Then Andy comes rushing in to check on Karen. And when she realizes that Karen's okay, she's like, you need a ride home? And she said, well, I came with them and my car's at their house. So she says, okay, then I'm going to go check on Gary in the ICU. And both Fatima and Karen turn around and say, Gary? In unison. And then they both want to know why. But she doesn't say and she leaves. And she definitely was surprised that Karen and Fatima were agreeing on things. And she said it was real spooky. Oh boy, this is the part I didn't like when Aaron arrives, acting as if he's Superman coming to save the day and talking to Zach as if he's a child after asking Karen why she didn't call herself. And she's like, well, the doctor was checking on me. That's why I couldn't call, you know. So I'm like, what difference does it make who called you? You got called and you're there. So stop being so sensitive or being arrogant, I guess. I don't know. But then the doctor comes out with Karen's, what is it, release papers or whatever, and he makes this comment saying no more arguments with the twins' father, okay? And I'm sitting there going, that was totally, totally, totally unprofessional, especially when the twins' father is sitting right there. You know, he could have just said something about no more arguing or we need you to stay stress free. Because let's be real, just the day before, Vanessa came into the salon to sue her and Pam, which caused them some stress. It caused her stress. And then Hayden trying to crush their dreams was a bit of a stress when she was at the law firm. But the truth is, Karen didn't argue with Zach at his house. She tried to come at Fatima herself. But what actually caused Karen stress or her to go into premature labor is when she learned that Fatima was pregnant. And that is the truth. Y'all put it down in the comment section what y'all think about that. So now we have Aaron questioning Zach. Were you arguing with Karen? You know, man, I try so hard to do this and be there, and I have to go bend over backwards to be nice to you. And all. I was like, what the hootie and the blowfish? You coming in there with that energy causing stress on Karen because that is stressful for her to see her baby's fathers fighting. Okay? Somebody tell me I'm wrong about that because I know I'm not. That is causing us stress. And Aaron came and brought it and he started that mess. And it drives me crazy when he does that. But anyway, back at Danny's apartment where she and Sabrina are talking, Sabrina is blaming herself for saying that she should have been a bit more discreet when she took that phone call with Cretia. And I say, yes, I agree, you should have. But Danny doesn't blame her or Rich. She just blames Tony for come busting in there after she had just told him earlier to leave. You know what I mean? Anyhow, now we see Rich and Tony at a bar talking about what's happening with them. You know, Tony with Danny and their issue, and then Rich about his soldiers not marching in a straight line. so, so Rich gives Tony some good advice about, you know, waiting and patience and stuff, and then checks his phone to see if Sabrina has texted him back because he's been sending text messages apologizing. But then Jordan calls Tony and Rich says, put him on speaker. And he tells him that Penelope has been arrested for Gary stabbing. And they both look at each other like, what? And now this next scene, we're at the law firm where Robin is looking for Hayden, but he's not in his office. So he calls him, and we see Hayden is still at the hospital. And he answers his phone and lies and tells Robin that he just got out of an important meeting and asks can he call him back later. And Robin says no. And under his breath, Hayden's like, I can't stand that MFer. Then Robin tells him that he and other partners have decided to extend Andy's leave indefinitely. And Hayden is like, yeah. But then under his breath, he whispers, I love this MFer. He's so stupid. So Robin tells Hayden that he needs for him to cover Andy's cases for a while longer and asks, will that be a problem? And Hayden says, it sounds good. Then he hangs up, and who comes walking by but Andy? And you know Hayden couldn't resist and rubbing this in her face. He lets her know that he just got off the phone with Robin and that he heard about her leave of absence being extended and that he will take care of her caseload and Fatima. And she just rolled her eyes at him. And then she go, what in the what? And at the same time, they both seem to get a notification on their phones. And when they read it, it says Penelope Williams has been officially charged for the attempted murder of her former fiance and one of the Southeast's most respected hedge fund managers, Gary Marshall Borders. And they both look at each other like, what the heck? And then it ends at the hospital where Aaron and Zach are in a confrontation, which I feel that Aaron actually initiated. And Fatima tries to leave with Zach saying, let's go home so that this will end this. But then Aaron said this. Because at least our children will have one responsible, solid male role model in their lives. And I was like, what? And I was like, do y'all see how Fatima looks at him? And Karen backed up her wheelchair because Zach got up in his face and said, what the F did you say? And I'm sitting there going, see, I keep telling y'all, Aaron keeps pushing it, but then y'all get mad when Zach brings up that Aaron's wife killed herself because of him. That speaks a lot of volume when your wife kills herself because you are MF for yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know. But y'all put it down in the comment section what y'all thought about it. That's how this episode ends. Let me know your thoughts about it. And I will see you all in the next video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And happy New Year's to you all. It is January 1st. Happy New Year. And I want to thank all of you who have supported my channel in the past. I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate all of those of you who will be supporting my channel in the new 2025 year. I love you all. Have a great and prosperous year. This is your girl Barbie J saying peace.